Welcome to Minding My Money. I'm your host, Shawnee, and this is where the journey to financial freedom is real, raw, and a little bit fun. I'm sharing my wins, my lessons, and everything in between, $1 at a time. Now, before we jump in, let me say this. This ain't financial advice, just financial realness. Yeah, I pay taxes, so much taxes, ish don't make sense. Where do my dollars go? You see, lately, I ain't been convinced. I guess they say my dollars are supposed to build roads and schools. That is a snippet from J. Cole's song Brackets, and so let's start there because I feel the same. I work, I clock in, I do what I'm supposed to do. So, why does it feel like I'm barely moving forward? Why does it feel like every time I level up financially, something reaches back and pulls me two steps behind? This episode isn't about complaining, it's about clarity. I remember my mom raising two kids on $6 or $7 an hour, and somehow we made too much to qualify for food stamps. Too much for help, too little to breathe. That same story followed me into college. Fast was said, we made too much for enough financial aid, so I took out student loans myself. Because what else was I supposed to do? The system says you're too rich for assistance, too poor for comfort, and too responsible to escape. And that gap, that's where most of us live. So let's break it down simply. As your income rises, a higher percentage gets taxed, but only the money within that bracket. Cool. That's the explanation, right? But here's the lived experience. The more you make, the more you disappear. And let me make this personal. There was a season where I worked extra hard, picked up extra shifts, said yes when I was tired, said yes when I didn't want to, because I thought if I'll just make more, I'll finally catch up. And instead, I ended up owing over $20,000 in IRS debt. $20,000. After working harder, after doing more, and I was still struggling. That's when it hit me. Making more doesn't automatically mean keeping more. And meanwhile, corporations restructure income, write off losses, move money strategically, and hire teams to legally minimize their liability. And you, my friend, you just get a smaller check and sometimes a surprise bill. These aren't just income brackets, they're assets brackets. You see, you don't just pay income tax, you pay sales tax, gas tax, property tax, vehicle registration, tolls, process fees, convenience fees, and the convenience is never convenient. They say taxes builds roads, but the potholes near me feel like portals to another galaxy. And when your suspension breaks, that's on you. Now let's talk about student loans. At 18, I couldn't even rent a car, right? But I could sign away six figures. I had no credit, no income, no financial literacy. But the government's like, hey, you're poor, you don't have any money, so here, take this 100K for your education and figure it out. I couldn't even rent an apartment without any income at that age. And meanwhile, grown adults can't co-sign basic loans. Now make that make sense. I guess debt was my entry fee into society. I feel like you have to pay to exist. I worked in the healthcare system and I had insurance, and my job as a nurse made me sick all the time. And guess what? Just like everybody else, I still pay out of pocket. You see, you can go years without being sick and still owe because healthcare in this country isn't preventative, it's profitable. And if you don't have coverage, you suffer quietly. So let's talk about the emotional tax. Nobody talks about this part, okay? The stress, the pressure, the decision fatigue, watching your direct deposit hit and already knowing where it's going before you even touch it. That's not just financial strain, that's mental weight. It's not just about money, it's about margin and some breathing room. There are power in the brackets. And Malcolm X said it best. Malcolm X once said that black women are among the most unprotected and disrespected people in America. And that hits differently when you're carrying bills, expectations, and generational pressure all at once. This system wasn't built for everyone equally in mind. And while we can't flip it overnight, we can move differently inside it. Now, I may not control federal tax codes, but I can budget with intention, learn the rules, vote in local elections, support community initiatives, and decide where my money goes when I do have a choice. $1 at a time isn't small, it's strategic. And budgeting is resistance, saving in protection, and investing in preparation. You see, I work too hard to feel powerless. I shouldn't have to hustle twice as hard just to feel stable. But until these brackets become bridges instead of cages, I'm going to mind my money carefully, strategically, and intentionally. So, as we close, let me say this: awareness is power. You didn't choose this system, but now you see it. And awareness is the first form of resistance. So we learn, we move smarter, we protect our peace, and we stack anyway. $1, one choice, one power move at a time. Thanks for tuning into Minding My Money, where every dollar has a story and every story brings us closer to financial freedom. If you felt inspired, learned something new, or just vibe with the journey, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs it. You can also catch more content and behind the scenes moments on YouTube and Instagram. Just search Minding My Money. Until next time, keep minding your money $1 at a time.